Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thank you for spending your morning with us. And we're going to get into really interesting chats right now, right? I hope you're listening very closely because navigating life as a mother, as a woman, as a business leader can really be rewarding. But let's be honest, it can also be very challenging. And today we're joined by Steph Davis as well as Jackie Marola, who are a dynamic duo behind the podcast called The Shift. It is a newly launched podcast aimed at creating an empowering space for women and moms. Now, this podcast focuses on things like life and business, as well as purpose, most importantly, and helping women embrace their unique strengths and navigate their roles in the world. So please help me in welcoming our gorgeous women on mics. That's what you're going to be known as now. Women on mic. Can we just have more of this in 2025, guys?
I love it.
I think we've seen enough, right?
Yeah. It's time.
I've been looking on TikTok and on YouTube, and I'm just like, I'm tired. I get it. Men, you know, we love you, but we need more of
But
this.
like, sit down.
Sit down.
Just,
and take the mic away. Just give it to us because we've got something to say.
We do.
Let's talk about the start of this podcast. It was recently launched, but obviously something that you've been thinking about for a minute. So where did the concept come from and the bravery to even step out and say, we are doing this?
Well, I mean, it's kind of bizarre. It literally came from a pause in a workday. We were in between meetings. And we've always spoken about starting a podcast, and just this one, this day, we were like, oh, you know what, like, let's do this. Like, what would we call it? I'm like, okay, The Shift. Okay, what do we talk about? And then, I swear, like, the rest is history. We literally sat that day, we wrote out, I think, about, 10 topics.
Wow.
And we found someone to record, and we made one of the rooms in Jackie's house. Like, we're like, okay, well, this is a set now. Here's the props. And that was that.
Sure. Okay, The Shift. Talk to me about the name. Where did it come from and what does it mean?
Oh, that's literally my favorite question because it is so meaningful to us. And it's exactly what you were saying. It's this idea of like, we love the men, right? Thank you so much for everything you've done, but it is now time to shift, the mic on. And it really speaks about and tries to capture this idea of the world is changing. And, we always go, oh, the world is changing. It's horrific. It's all of these bad things. It's actually amazing. And we're so lucky to be alive right now.
Sure.
And this idea about the shift is being able to shift the changes so that they benefit us and it's a better place. And, we can trailblaze this change if we choose to.
Yeah.
So that's the idea and the ethos behind the shift. It's about creating all these changes that just make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
And, where women have something to say.
Yes, it's something good to say, something worthwhile to say too. Okay, ladies, talk to me about flow. How does this sort of play into the podcast and what exactly does that mean?
Well, I think, flow is really just our intuition, and it's that divine intuition, that very feminine intuition that I think we're often told to quieten down, and we're often told not to listen to. But, I mean, your flow is a part of your everyday, and if you actually do take that pause and you listen, you'll actually find your way and you'll find the next step. And I think that it's such an integral part of our everyday, of our work, of everything, and we just kind of want to say, like, it's okay to step into flow, it's okay to listen and just also have a coffee and like, you know what I mean? Feel into things. So,
I love that. I think many times because life is so busy and responsibilities have us at our necks, especially as women, we do quieten that down because where's the space to even explore what the flow means? Exactly. But I love that you guys are tapping into that. Okay, when it comes to podcasting, many people might have that on their bucket list for 2025. It's a little bit different to just us having a chat, kicking it back, having a coffee somewhere. So how does that sort of translate in terms of conversation style and flow within a podcasting space?
I want to be honest with you, we still don't know what we're doing.
I love this.
We're going to be honest. We do our best. And often we have these questions and we're like, well, it's all figure-outable, right? We really have this strong idea about failing forward. Like, we'll figure it out as we go. And so one of the things we just really want to do is, we all open Instagram. There's this aesthetic. There's this idea of how everyone should look and be and everything else. And I think the one thing for us that translates well is that we're really honest about our things. We're really authentic when we show up. I mean, my own personal story, I go, okay, cool, we should be recording, and I'm like, maybe I should lose some of the chunky. And then I'm like, no, man, this is who I am, right? So this is who I am. Sometimes you have bad hair days. Sometimes you have all of it. And That's the intention, is we just want to be as authentic as possible and share who we really are, because that's valuable.
Absolutely. And also people are looking for value nowadays and they're looking for real, they're looking for authentic. So yes, you're ticking all the boxes. But talk to me a little bit more about your background. You mentioned your story and I know that you're coming with a lot, right? You have a background in research psychology. Does that give you a different perspective when you take to the mic?
I think it's so interesting. I love this question because it's one facet of who I am. And one of the things we've learned on this journey is that all of the experiences that we've learned as we've gone through, you know, from coming out of school experiences, all of these things still makes us, it makes the different parts of who we are, and we're these multifaceted humans. One of the things that research psych really did teach me, which we've carried on into, you know, the ethos of this as well, is asking the right questions to find the human and then tell the story.
Sure.
And that's something we really, really are big on, is like, you know, in this digital age of AI and everything else, like, there's this fallacy that AI is better, you know, all of this stuff is quicker and whatever. But like, being human is pretty damn awesome.
It's quite cool.
We've been doing it for a while now, and you know, 10 out of 10 would highly recommend. And so I think that's the thing. It's about finding the human and telling our stories, because those are just beautiful.
Sure, finding the human and telling our stories. I love that. And the best part is that we've got a part 2 with Jackie and Steph. Absolutely, I'm here for it. And if you feel motivated, I'm telling you, there is so much more that these ladies have up their sleeves. Thank you, ladies, for part 1. That was incredible.
Thank you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
The quickest break, and we are back because we have to continue this conversation all around something very special with our co-host from The Shift podcast. Now, in addition to empowering women and moms, The Shift aims to foster meaningful conversations, which is what we're doing today. Also all about inspiring intentional living, which is definitely something we need to carry with us in 2025. Let's do everything with intention. Well, Steph, got to come to you because you are juggling so much, right? You are both of you own a company together. You also have your own period wear brand called Expresso Period Wear. And you just do so much. I mean, there's the podcast. How do you balance it all?
Well, I think, like, you know, I'm not sure about the word balance.
Okay.
I think that it's just, you know, to Jackie's point earlier, it's multifaceted. That's who we are as human beings. And I think as long as you are doing everything with intention, you know, to your point, it becomes a lot easier. And as long as you love what you do, and I mean, I don't get it right all the time. Like, there are days where I'm just like, okay, you know, I don't really want to do anything today. But, you know, I think you get up, you do the thing, you maybe don't do the thing, you have your coffee and you carry on, and that's okay, you know. And I think, that's basically just how you do it and how I do it.
I think extending that grace to yourself is very important because it almost helps you to fall back quicker and then keep it moving.
100%.
Instead of wallowing, I think we do that a lot as women. We wallow and we beat ourselves up and there's shame and there's this and that, but definitely keeping it moving. So when it comes to the podcast and choosing your guests, because you've got distinguished guests that are so incredible, how do you even begin? How do you do that?
Kira, so we are so lucky. Like, first of all, we didn't think we would be here. This is weird for us. But
No, stop it.
Thank you. We're saying things, and people, you know, like so many of our friends and so many of the incredible women that we surround ourselves with were like, you know, good for you, this is amazing. And we just started realizing we are surrounded by women who are incredible. And when it comes to, you know, the guests that we're going to have on the show, we haven't, you know, we've got incredible women who are running their own businesses and, you know, amazing. We've got corporate girlies who are rocking the socks off that space. But we've also got mums who, you know, have decided to focus on that. And the point is, and the theme that ties us all together, is we have something to say that we think we can contribute and help other women. And, you know, Steph and I never purport to be experts in anything. You know, we share our experience, and if that helps people, so lucky that we get to do that, you know, and that's the intention for the people that are going to come on as well, is that there's going to be stuff to share around finance, around relationships, around things like that. So we're really excited, and people want to come to our show. How cool is that?
They actually are applying to be in your show. That means you guys are definitely doing something right. But I know right now that there's probably a mother or even a woman sitting at home, maybe feeling so overwhelmed with responsibilities. I know we just came off a year. It was tough for some people. Now having to start a new year with so much expectation. I mean, what sort of word or encouragement would you give them to deal with overwhelm?
I think you are not alone.
Yeah.
You know, like you can reach out. There's a tribe of women, you know, there's a tribe, there's a community that can actually be there with you. And to also just, to your point, give yourself the grace. You know, you don't have to have it all figured out. None of us have it figured out. Like, if someone says they do, they're lying.
Yeah.
They are lying. So, yeah, give yourself that grace and reach out. And you can reach out to us as well. We're here, you know. Yeah.
I love that. Jackie, how about you?
I think it's exactly what Steph said, and you know, is that we're going to get it wrong. And one of the things I've done for the longest time, and I find a lot of us doing, and I did this in the therapy session, and I talk about the fact that I go to therapy, right?
That's good. I
It's
love
important for
this.
me. It makes me a whole happy human. And I was saying to my therapist, like, the kids are going to be home for a month. I don't know if I can do this. And you know, so and so is so much better at being with her kids, and she makes these amazing lunch boxes, and you know, this is hard for me. And she was like, bro, like, just, she speaks to me like that.
I love
she
that.
loves me. And she's like, bro, just do the thing. Like, it's okay if you do what looks good for you. You don't have to compare yourself. And I think we get into this comparison trap. And you know, we're all just doing the best that we can. And sometimes that just looks like survival.
And that's good enough.
Yeah. That's good enough.
Good is good enough sometimes, right?
That's it, right? You don't
gotta
have to be
take
the
that.
best parent. You just have to be the best you that you can.
Exactly. And as long as you know you're showing up as that person, then that's okay at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the company you guys have together when it comes to strategy and marketing. I mean, so many facets, and I love that you are also just reminding us that women can do everything and we can be everything. How did that come about?
So Feel Good & Co. came about a couple of years ago, and it's kind of moved and shaked with me. And then I onboarded Jackie about a year ago. And you know, we moved through Feel Good the way we moved through the shift and the way we moved through everything. And I think it's all really about discovering that human and, you know, discovering those consumer and real human insights behind the human that is going to purchase the brand. That's what it's all about. And I think that that's what we really try to do, and really try and have purpose-driven insights that actually uncover, you know, those stories, because that's what strategy is. So,
and also, and we say this all the time, and I think our clients probably get sick of us because we literally go, does this make you feel good? And when have you, I mean, we did corporate for so long and everything, and that was never a thing. Like, you don't talk about how it feels. It's like, how do you think? It's very you know, head-driven. And that's one of the things that we're trying to shift and trailblaze the change of, is what Steph had said in the intro, is, you know, going with intention, going with your intuition, and going, how does this make us feel? And to be honest, so many of our strategies are really like hot. There's a word that comes before that, but like, they're hot. Because of the fact that, you know, we go, okay, how does this make us feel? How would it make the consumer feel? So
I love that, because we're human first.
human beings, not human doings.
Ooh, okay.
that's from one of our podcasts.
I was about to say, this is exactly why you guys have mics. I love that. And also, you're on the appropriate show because we are your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Yes.
All about feeling good. And that's what we're channeling in 2025. Ladies, well done. I can't wait for you to reach that 1-year mark to just be like, look back, look at us. What have we done? Because you're on such a great start and trajectory. And I'm really looking forward to it. Have me on the podcast sometime, okay?
Absolutely.
100%.
I'm applying to be a guest. Did you see that? Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Right now, from the ladies to the gents, we got to find out what Ryle and Graham are up to.